Welcome to our much anticipated SoSHSA Week, proudly organized by the Social Sciences and Humanities Students Association here at the School of Arts and Sciences. This year, we gather under the thought-provoking theme, promoting peace and human rights for socio-economic growth. As we embark on this long celebration of creativity, discourse, and learning, let us reflect on the interconnectedness of peace, human rights, and socio-economic development. In a world of often divided by conflict, inequality, and injustice, the pursuit of peace is more crucial than ever before. Peace is not merely the absence of war or conflict. It is a dynamic state of harmony that fosters dialogue, understanding, and cooperation across all diverse communities.
The trajectory of oppression in the Gambia was at one point, highly alarming. Our country was on the brink of a major conflict with clear signs of instability, coup attempts, treason charges, whether they were trumped up or not, widespread political arrest. Between 2013 and 2016, we witnessed unprecedented detention. The then Inspector General of Police, the Minister of Justice, the Solicitor General, the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief Justice, political opponents, journalists, among others, were imprisoned. Arbitrary arrests, detention, and torture became the norm, largely executed by the feared National Intelligence Agency, the NIA. Many Gambians fled into exile in fear of their lives. I'm not making this up. You follow the TRRC, you look at the report of the TRRC, and you look at their recommendation. Progress since 2017. Since the political transition in 2017, we have made some significant strides towards peace and justice. Key transitional justice initiatives have been undertaken, marking a new chapter for the Gambia. The TRRC, as I said, was established to document human rights abuses during the 22-year dictatorship, to recommend prosecutions for those most responsible, and to provide reparation for victims and their families, while fostering reconciliation, national reconciliation. In addition, the National Human Rights Commission was created to uphold and protect human rights in the Gambia. It was given a broad mandate to investigate and receive complaints, monitor human rights issues, recommend appropriate remedial action, conduct research, publish findings, and advise the government on human rights matters.
This university came from the resources of our people. Those women you buy groundnuts at the place, you buy mburo nyebe, they contributed to this. All right? Those boys pushing push at Brikama market. All right? Those farmers across, far here, you see farmers in there, they contributed to this. Not to mention your parents and the rest of the Gambia. So, you are enjoying this cozy environment. Some of those people, in fact, most of them never entered a beautiful room like this in their entire life. They've never enjoyed an AC. But you enjoy all of that, and then you graduate, and now become a leader of the people, a policy maker, a president, a minister. Emmanuel said the president could be out of this place, a minister, a parliamentarian, a judge, a director, whatever. And instead of securing the rights of your people, utilizing their resources to invest back in them, you rather want to buy one vehicle for $12 million to transport you from Brusubi to Banjul, from Brikama to Banjul, passing by those women selling getter staff on the way that you were buying from when you were a student. That is the ungratefulness of the African intellectual. And I hope you are not going to be a bunch of ingrates who would suck the blood, the resources, because literally they are sucking the blood and the sweat of our people, and graduate, and we put up a grandiose ceremony here for a graduation ceremony, and now you have become the minister or the president, and all you do is to consume from the people like a parasite. The tragedy, the biggest obstacle of the African, of the Gambian, is the Gambian intellectual. Don't be that kind of intellectual. Yeah?
Just to put it to you, Uncle Madi, in as much as we have a lot of talents within the University of the Gambia, like Sheikh Mati Jau, in this contemporary time, we have a lot of Madians within the University of the Gambia students community. That is to tell you that, to connect with a Greek philosopher, Aristotle, that contentment is a natural wealth and luxury is an artificial poverty. And you have manifested that contentment regardless of your position in this country. You could have been a minister and embezzled our wealth, but you, so this should be a take home for every young person in this room here, that I have milked from Uncle Madi, that the biggest tragedy in this country is our intellectual, which runs deep into my veins. That who are we as university students? Are we prepared to be those intellectuals who will join the force to make this country go deep down in the drains? Or are we here to change and make a meaningful impact in our society? It's a question to take home with.
Kurang bisan wah janggama kurang bisan ya matrenelo iyan dem marong iyan den jai kai wai iyan dem marong suma iyan dem marong kai wai kurang bisan wah janggama mernala big wajal sumanje ke na zed yo ya maton Iyan kilime na fonye bang Fan TV iyan kilime na fonye bang Fan TV iyan kilime na fonye bang Gasiti kadomo Walla iyan kilime na fonye bang Iyan kilime na fonye bang Gasiti kadomo de Walla gasiti kadomo Fan TV iyan kilime na fonye Iyan kilime na fonye bang Yande marong, yande jai kai wai, yande marong suma yande jai kai wai.
Good morning, and it is with great pleasure and joy to join you here to grace this occasion with me. And this year, our theme for Social Week is promoting peace and human rights for socio-economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome to the Social Week. Before we officially start the event or properly go through the itinerary of the event, I would like to use this opportunity to thank the whole executive of the Social Sciences, Humanity, Students Associations of the University of the Gambia for putting or staging these editions of SoSHSA in a grand style. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, to follow the program guides. On the itinerary, we have introduction statement, which I just did, and then on that note, I will call on we all observe individual praise in our own levels. Please, God, Muslims and Christians, let's observe individual praise. President of the Social Sciences and Humanity Student Associations, Mr. Jata, will make the opening remarks of this year's Social Week. Mr. Jata, The podium is all yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, fellow students, welcome to our much anticipated SoSHSA Week, proudly organized by the Social Sciences and Humanities Students Association here at the School of Arts and Sciences. This year, we gather under the thought-provoking theme, promoting peace and human rights for socio-economic growth. As we embark on this long celebration of creativity, discourse, and learning, let us reflect on the interconnectedness of peace, human rights, and socio-economic development. In a world of often divided by conflict, inequality, and injustice, the pursuit of peace is more crucial than ever before. Peace is not merely the absence of war or conflict. It is a dynamic state of harmony that fosters dialogue, understanding, and cooperation across all diverse communities. Human rights form the cornerstone of collective dignity and well-being. They empower individuals and communities, ensuring the voice is heard and every right is upheld. As aspiring leaders and citizens of the global society, we must champion the rights vigorously, recognizing that when human rights are respected, entire communities thrive, socially, economically, and culturally. Throughout this week, we would engage in a variety of activities, ranging from workshops, panel discussions, cultural performances, and community outreach programs, all designed to illuminate the vital role that peace and human rights play in our societies. I encourage each of you to participate passionately in the events we have planned, as your involvement is key to fostering a vibrant and inclusive dialogue. Let us use this opportunity to inspire change, advocate for justice, and work towards a future where peace and human rights are not just aspirational goals but realities to all. On that note, let us reaffirm our commitment to promoting peace and protecting human rights as fundamental pillars of sustainable development. It is through our collective efforts that we can cultivate a brighter, more equitable future for ourselves and generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I welcome you to the SoSHSA Week 2024. Thank you very much.
And my name is Lamin El Sane. I will be the co-MC for this important gathering. Just to let you know that your presence means a lot. And then we're very much happy to stand here to make sure that we embrace a remarkable day like today, making sure that, we do the needful.
On that note, I will follow the program guide to call on Dr. Abdul Karim Kamara, Dean of School of Arts and Science, to give a statement regarding a key topic, that is what it means to be found worthy, both in learning and character. So he is going to emphasize on that topic, what it means to be found worthy in both character and learning. Doctor, the podium is yours.
Thank you, honorable panelists. We are very grateful for you, for your being here. It's not my responsibility, actually, to give a vote of thanks, but I'm very pleased to see Mr. Juve, Mr. Madi, at least to grace the occasion. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened. I want to start my intervention on a solemn note. I guess this is my last time of addressing you as Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. I've been the face of the school for a very long time, and I think new faces are also important for them to gain the experience I've gained. We already know who is going to be the next Dean, not so? So I don't need to introduce anybody, or we wait when it happens. Dr. Fane is going to be your next Dean in a very short while. A moment ago, I asked Mr. Mbake, John, I asked him, John, how long do I have? What's the duration of my speech? He said 20 minutes. I said, I thought it was just going to be 2 minutes or something, but 20 minutes. But I have no problems with the time. I would do like what one boy did a very long time ago. A king had a very beautiful daughter. He wanted to marry this daughter to the most intelligent person, and that's the person who could narrate a story for a whole month. One story, a whole month. You know, if you came, started translating, narrating the story, but would not even take 2 minutes, and whoever could not narrate a story for up to 30 days would be killed. The first one was killed. The second one was killed. The third one came and started the narration. Once upon a time, there was a very big farmer who, the farm was in fact bigger than the whole of Africa. They invited the people of Banjul to come and do the plowing, the Gambia first. They plowed the whole day. The following day, they invited the people of Serekunda. They plowed. So the plowing of the people of Serekunda, it took a whole day. What I want to say, I can do like that man so that at least I'll not be killed here. So time shouldn't be a problem. I've been asked to intervene on a very important topic. Let me close it down. You have the topic right in front of you, what it means to be found worthy in both character and learning. This is what we often pronounce during convocation. When you shall have finished everything here, assessments and all of that, payments. So before you are given your certificates, this is the pronouncement we often make, that we have found you worthy in character and in learning. These are two things, two sides of the citizen of the 21st century, the citizen of all centuries. Once you have made a bold decision to come to the university, we expect you to be an embodiment of these two qualities. So, it is not by accident that we have character and then learning after it. That's in alphabetical order. Yeah, but that goes to show that we put more premium on character, on the molding of the character, than the learning itself you are seeing. Learning is very good, but learning without an imitable character, I'm afraid you have learned for nothing. So let us see what it means when we talk about character. What character are we actually talking about? What are those characters you should live with after completing your programs here? First and foremost, that is my own ordering. Anyone can order it anyhow. We expect you to be very hardworking. That's the key quality we want to inculcate in you, hard work. I don't speak Wolof very fluently, but I remember one very important proverb, that is yala yala be satol. And you know what that means? Even the Quran tells us that you work first before you turn to Allah and pray. So hard work is a very important quality you need to have as citizens of the 21st century. In addition to that, you could be hardworking and all of that. We also training you to be very sincere, to be honest to yourselves and to society. I want to underline honesty here because we are struggling a lot with honesty. We have a lot of dishonest individuals around us. Just last week, I gave a test. Somebody Because probably she did not, let me be specific, she did not perform according to expectations, decided to leave with the paper out of the hall. She did not tender the paper to the examiner, to the supervisor. And what that means is that that individual will come later. I wrote my name, I took the test, where is my paper? It is happening here, and it's a very serious problem. If you cannot be honest now, when are you going to be honest? What you are simply saying is that we are making a mistake. Come the day of convocation to declare you as people that have been found worthy in learning and in character. The character is faulty. Let's desist from such practices. Civility is a very important quality you should also espouse. We often say civil servants, but most of us do not even know what it means when we say civil servant. Do I have any right to ask questions? Yes, Sarahule, what do you understand by civil? Let's make it interactive. What do you understand by civil? You often hear civil servants, not true? Huh? There is a quality. I mean, not just the person, not just the government official. There is a quality those officials are supposed to have. When we say you are a civil servant, you are civil, it means you are very courteous, polite. But most of us go into the civil service without even knowing what it means to be a civil servant. And in addition to that, we have servant, meaning you are supposed to serve the community. You are not a master. You are there to render a service. And you render the service courteously. And these are things we want you to imbibe once you are here in the university. You are not supposed to leave this university rude. You are not supposed to leave this university impolite. You have a very important role in society. Well, I want to echo here a motto of our own alma mater, that is Fube College, University of Sierra Leone. And it's not a slogan. The motto is, non sibi sed alice, not for self, but for others. I'm sure we have been talking about this in the classrooms, that we are training you to become organic intellectuals, not so? I love the term. I love the term organic intellectuals. Most of us who grew up in the villages, not so? I'm sure you must have stolen somebody's cassavas, groundnuts, pawpaw, mangoes, and everything to eat and be able to read. You have read, you have become somebody in society. So the responsibility is on you to go back to this society and contribute to your own quota. So you are not just learning for yourselves, that's what it means when you see non-civil studies, but you are also learning for society. That is a quality you always have to bear in mind. And intellectuals often talk about gown and town, not so? The gown, the intellectuals, the town, the communities. You have to benefit. Your education has to be of some benefit to the community. And it's very important that the community knows that you are there to serve them. One very important, the qualities are just too many. Think of all the good qualities. Those are just those things you need to have for you to be considered as somebody of a character or characters that can be imitated. Your behavior should be imitable. When you do something, people should say, I want to be like this. I want to be like this person. This person is like this. All the good qualities, you are supposed to embody them. It is difficult. And of course, there is one very important quality also. All of them are very important, of course. But we are in a world of temptation. As academics, civil servants, we expect you to be resistant to temptations. I know most of you here, you are firebrands when you are in the university. You talk a lot, criticize the government. Why are they buying SUVs when at least one SUV is enough to take care of a whole hostel? You ask these questions in the classroom. I'm very happy when you're asking them. But let me warn you, We politicians have a way of recruiting people, firebrands. We always look for the firebrands, those who talk a lot. We send you, for instance, to a trip to China or wherever, give you very heavy per diem. You come back, you find it very difficult to talk again, to start criticizing the government again. It becomes difficult. But anyway, that's not the temptation I'm talking about, not just that. But it is there from business people. They want a certain contract. They stuff dollars into your mouth. And of course, once the dollars on in your mouth, what do? You have to respect what we call table manners. When you are eating, you don't. Complete it for me. When you are eating, you don't talk. But those are bad manners in politics, not so. So, what is important here, make sure you chop correctly. Chopping correctly means resist whatever bribery there is to be given. It is difficult to do that. It's a very difficult thing, but it's doable. We can resist. So, I believe that if we actually get these qualities, we try to demonstrate that we have learned something. I have these qualities. I see somebody I admire. I want to behave like that person. I see a certain Emmanuel Duke, for instance. I know what he does. I want to be like him. He's an imitable character. People you can imitate. These are the characters we are talking about. And you need to know the characters they have, the qualities they have. And of course, all of you, but most of us, we want to be like Ronaldo, not so. It's not bad. We want to be like Messi. It's not bad. I wonder if I were to be born again, what I would be. I think I would play football. I was a good footballer, and but we thought education means everything. But yes, let those who want to be Ronaldo, those who want to be Messi, be Messi and Ronaldo. But for us, we have taken our own path. Intellectuals, we have to benefit society. We have a big responsibility. We have to benefit society. And we are here to train you to be able to do just that. You discover that when you do something untoward, sometimes people like me or Dr. Fane will feel so disturbed. I feel so disturbed when I am faced with incidents of cheating in class. If you cheat in class, it's obvious that you are going to cheat when you become a civil servant. It is obvious. So why do you want to encourage learning a bad habit? Let's talk about learning now. Learning for what purpose? Oh, by the way, what are you going to learn? Most of us are here, we don't even know why we are here. True or false? Some of us are here so that we will not be sent into early marriages. Buy time so that they will not send you to marry. But I'm sure you have a more serious responsibility than delaying marriage or whatever reason you may have. The Europe you are seeing today was in shambles yesterday. Economic shambles, political shambles. All the oppression we are facing today, Europeans, we are facing it. Chinese, we are facing it. Everybody in Europe, the Northern Hemisphere, they were facing the problems we are facing today. But what was the contribution of the intellectuals? I don't want to tell you about the Socrates and others, the Plato, the Aristotle. They did a lot with the learning they had to change the mindsets of the people in power. What happened in Europe after the killing of the kings? Let's talk about France, for instance. That is my area of predilection. What happened there? You want to tell us? Huh? What happened in France? Or in Europe, not just France, I mean England, Europe. People needed to bring in a new system of governance that would at least ensure there was a level playing ground for everybody. A space where there will be equality for one and all. A place where at least the kind of oppression that was happening wouldn't happen again. Scholars, the Jean-Jacques Rousseaus, Thomas Hobbes, you remember them not so? Montesquieu, the Baron de Montesquieu, all put pen on paper to write and propose a certain conduct, political conduct for society. And thanks to them, they were able to eradicate oppression corruption. It is still there, but at a very minimal level. The rules there stand. The rules stand. And thanks to intellectuals, they did a very great effort to ensure that their societies are what we are today. These are societies where all of us want to go to today. And I believe if we act like them, it is possible for us to have our Gambia be an attraction point for almost everybody. You obviously want to come to the Gambia if you do your work rightly. And what are you learning? Sometimes we are here because I'm in the humanities. I'm only supposed to read what concerns me directly. No, that is not how it's supposed to be. And one of my intellectual uncles, I will come to that point. All of you need to have intellectual uncles or grandfathers. Africa is not like what we had in the past. What Hampateba said, that when an old man died, the whole library would have been burnt down. It's not like that today. Everything is in books, and we see models around us. You have a lot of them. I have a model in the name of Joseph Kizerbo, a historian, Burkinabe historian, an upright individual. Of course, he was from a country of upright people. That is why the Burkinabes call themselves le pays des hommes intègres. That is, intègre means you are upright in behavior. He proposes at least 5 things, but I'll talk about just one thing, which is very pertinent to what we are talking about here. You are not just here to read and pass in your own area. You need to have a cross-cutting knowledge of issues surrounding you. If I ask any one of you here to tell us something about the SDGs, maybe you know the name, the meaning of the acronym, the initials, SDG. Am I wrong to suggest that you know the meaning? What's the meaning of SDG? Sustainable Development Goal. Goals, not just one, right? Goals. How many goals, by the way? 17. 17 goals. And at least there are one or two goals you are supposed to specialize on. Can you tell us the goal you are supposed to specialize in? As students? Education? Eradication of poverty? The democratic space? And so many things. But what are you doing in that regard? So we are not just here to limit ourselves. There are very serious problems impinging the progress of society. These are the problems we need to be addressing. We need to know about what is happening. Not just in your area of study, but in almost all other fields, so that we become a rounded intellectual. Sometimes we ask you to do this, and you start asking, oh, why am I even doing French? Why are people asking us to do French civilization? We ask these questions, not so? Political theories, why are people asking us to do political theories? But I don't think we'll ask you to do things here that are not important to your lives. We are in the humanities, and if I ask anybody here to tell us what humanities actually means, I'm afraid I will not have the correct answer. Who wants to take up the challenge? When we say humanities, what are we talking about? Can somebody take up the challenge? You are in the humanities, division of humanities and social sciences. I'm asking you today, what is humanities? We have very important strangers. Don't shame me. Somebody give it a try. Whatever thing you do, it should be for the good of mankind. Whatever you do, whatever you study should be for the good of mankind. If you study or you are forced to study something that is not useful to mankind, then it is useless. But I'm sure everything we do here is useful to you and for the nation. So, choose your intellectual uncles. You have a lot of them, and you are so lucky today. You have YouTube. And you have other forms of communication or dispensation of knowledge. You are not as unfortunate as we were when at our own time everything was book, 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 book. Today you can decide even not to read and just choose or even ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT, what is this? ChatGPT will tell you. Eh? This is how lucky you have been today, or like us. Our own time it was just book, 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 and sometimes radio. Make use of these advantages to become learned. You can become learned. What I'm seeing around us, I don't like it. I'm prosecuting you now to our strangers. These people we are seeing, when they have nothing to do in class, they are sitting around here and the library is just close by. None of them here knows the road to the library. I'm prosecuting them. So this is how unprepared you are to learn. We can understand that if you are sitting down somewhere discussing academic things. Right? Back home, at least Mr. Madi can attest to that. We have a wisdom tree. And in that wisdom tree, what you learn there, you cannot learn it in the classroom. The rule, in fact, is you have to speak English once you are in the wisdom tree. So people would have learned things that this is the place where they will come and show off, kind of, to say that we have learned this and that, and so on. But I'm not seeing that happening here. So how learned are you at the end of it all? Of course, we have to say we are found worthy in learning and in character. You are forcing us to be hypocrites. It's not true. It's not true. But we have to play the hypocrite because your parents are there on the day of convocation. Everybody's there, your friends. We have to tell them that we have found you worthy both character and learning. Please don't shame us. I want to end my intervention. Have I exhausted my 20 minutes? I was given 20 minutes. Well, I don't want to monopolize. We have more serious things to hear from our learned colleagues here present. Yes, we are Africans. We are the subaltern communities. We are not respected by the owners of technology, by those people who colonized us yesterday and who are still colonizing us. But it was technology and it is technology that they used yesterday to colonize us, to pin us where we are. We have a role, a very important role. We need to get out of that bracket. We are Africans. We have the opportunity to become angels if we know what to choose. But unfortunately, we don't know what to choose. And we don't even know what to retain in our own culture. The culture of the white man, the Tubab, is supposed to be a kind of benefit to us. But we have a problem of choice. What we choose from the culture of the other, we take all the bad things from that culture and make them ours. And African culture, we also have very good things about our own culture. But what we do is, we forget about the good in our culture and accentuate on the negatives. So you combine negative plus negative is not multiply. Negative plus negative become a devil. We have a responsibility, a serious responsibility at that, to do something about our image. We can do better, we can be better, only if you are prepared to learn appropriately from the right people, and only if you are ready to have these characters, not just having these characters, but you should also be ready to demonstrate to the public that you are here to help. University education or any other form of education is meant to make you useful contributors to society, useful citizens. And I pray that you all become useful citizens to a nation called the Gambia. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Next on the itinerary, we are having consolidating human rights through academic research, and then we will be having Dr. Malam Fane, Head of Department and the incoming Dean of School of Arts and Sciences, to take us through that.
I stand on existing protocols to welcome my colleagues on the high table, and I also thank the students for coming up with this brilliant topic for discussions here today. We are living in a very, very tumultuous era where global peace and security, human rights abuses are abundant, and is threatening, all these trends are threatening our existence as a race. And the topic, consolidating human rights through academic research, is very, very topical and apt. In fact, after the Second World War, the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. And up to date, this declaration remains to be the foundation of international standards for promoting human rights. The international human rights is predicated on 3 generations of rights, which broadly fall under 3 main categories. 1, that's the protection of civil rights and political rights. 2, the protection of economic, social, and cultural rights. 3, the protection of solidarity rights, such as the right to development and peace. In all this, in achieving all this, academics are a very, very important component of society through which human rights, global human rights, peace, and stability can be achieved. Therefore, we must all be aware that academics can consolidate human rights through their 3 main core functions as academics. 1, to teach. As academics in the university setting, one of our main functions is to teach. 2, to do research. And 3, to carry out community service. And in doing so, academics should have freedom to do their works. In fact, in 1988, the United Nations supported and came up with what was known as the Lima Declaration, which defines academic freedom as the freedom of members of the academic community, individually or collectively, in the pursuit, development, transmission of knowledge through research, study, discussion, documentation, production, creation, teaching, lecturing, and writing. The Lima Declaration also went further to define what it conceives as the academic community. According to the declaration, an academic community covers all those persons that are teaching, studying, researching, working at an institution of higher education. Therefore, from that definition, I think we are qualified to be considered as an academic community. With that in mind, SoSHSA is on track, is apt to come up with this team for us to engage in a very robust and frank discussion on human rights. Therefore, we should all observe and be conscious that human rights and academic freedom are rights and not privileges that we should enjoy as an academic community. That right that we have as an academic community must be protected from any undue pressure from the state and monopoly capitalists. What I mean by monopoly capital here is those that control the means of production, those that have the money, and should determine what we should say and what we should not say as far as human rights are concerned. It should be our collective responsibility to protect the rights of others when they are trampled on. And as an academic community, I am of the view that your views should be considered at any level in your society. As students of the University of the Gambia, you should have the capacity to influence public opinion in this country at all times. And as Nkrumah used to say, Nkrumah once said, in any society you go through, the youth are the spark of any revolution that must happen in that society. Therefore, for human rights to be respected in this country, you have a very significant role to play. We must voice out, we must defend, we must come together to make sure we put the government, we put those in power on the check at all times and hold them accountable whenever rights of others are violated. In 1990, the Kampala Declaration was also conducted to serve as a standard bearer for the African intellectual community to assert its authority and undertake its responsibility to the African people. Chapter 1 of the Kampala Declaration puts human rights and the fundamental rights of people on top of its agenda. Articles 1 to 9 puts emphasis on one, the right to education, which is a fundamental human right that we must understand. Two, civil, political, social, economic, and cultural rights. Three, freedom from intellectual harassment or intimidation. Four, freedom of movement for all people. And five, the right to establish intellectual relations. Six, the right to teach, carry out research, disseminate research findings without restrictions. Seven, the right to determine academic programs in accordance with high educational standards. Eight, the right to security of tenure as a worker, wherever you may be working. And nine, the right to freely express opinions. We should therefore note that through academic research, it is our responsibility as an academic community to bear in mind all these provisions of the Kampala Declaration, which are all anchored on international and universal human rights for all people, wherever they may be. We should therefore, as academics, make sure that the state carries out its obligation to the members of the intellectual community and consolidate human rights by promoting the spirit of tolerance and show solidarity with those whose rights are violated. Bearing in mind all these points I have talked about, as an academic community, as academics, as scholars, we are the torch bearers of our societies. Therefore, since we are torch bearers, we should serve as watchdogs of our communities. We should serve as the watchdog of our country. Just like E.F. Small was the watchdog of the Gambia during the colonial period, even though Small stood for the Gambian people, he was labeled as a dangerous element by the colonial establishment. He was labeled as a criminal. In fact, at some point, Small was forced into exile by the colonial authorities. And that is why it is my submission that as Gambians, sometimes we don't give credit to where it should belong. That Small, Edward Francis Small, who was the watchdog of the Gambian people during the colonial period, was never honored by the First Republic. But the colonial governor that maltreated Small, that forced Small into exile, is still up to this date honored and respected by the Gambian people. Amidat High School, the only state-owned boarding high school in the country, is still named after a colonial governor who cannot, in my view, serve as a role model for the Gambian people. Where is the protection of the rights of the depressed people? Do we know who we are, and do we know where we come from, and do we know where we are going to? Small, who talks about no taxation without representation. Small, who talked about the Gambian farmers determining the prices of their commodities. Small, who defended the rights of the oppressed Gambian farmers, was never given due attention by his own people. Small, who championed, who called for legislative reforms in this country, was even betrayed by his own lieutenants. They introduced ethnicity, religion in our body politics, and never honored him. So therefore, as academics, it is our responsibility to carry out research objectively and bring out our findings to help society define and understand itself. A society that does not know its history is a dead society. The University of Ibadan anthem, in the last line of the anthem says, "A mind that knows is a mind that is free." And knowledge is human right. Good knowledge should be human right. Through academic research also, as scholars, we should engage in a systematic and organized way of finding answers to societal problems. That's one of the reasons why we carry out research, to provide solutions to societal problems. Our society is a sick society. Our society is having a lot of problems. Corruption is a bane that is destroying our society. Nepotism is killing us. These are very fundamental societal problems that we as academics must look at, must research on, and come up with solutions that will help society to cure itself from the problems it is encountering. 3, academic research can also consolidate human rights by creating awareness about critical human rights issues that could pose a threat to our collective society as a people. There are so many issues that are confronting us. The issue of illegal migration, how do you call it? The backway syndrome. It's a societal problem. There is no family in this country that is not affected by it, either directly or indirectly. As academics, as scholars, we need to investigate that and then come up with tangible solutions. Those youth embarking on those journeys, are they lazy? I don't agree. What opportunities have the government created for them? Government has not created any opportunities for them. From 1994 to now, I challenge anybody to tell me what the government of the Gambia has, what job opportunities have government of the Gambia created, what factories have we created that can employ 5,000 youth at any given time. It's not there. So there are so many push and pull factors that are involved in all these things that are creating a problem for our society. We must look at these things, we must interrogate them frankly and robustly, and help government and all the stakeholders to be able to find lasting solutions to these problems. Also, uh, academic research can also be significant in consolidating human rights because research findings that we will come up with as academics can help improve existing legislations and protocols that govern the rights of people in the state. There are so many issues that are confronting people. So many people's rights are abused. What are we doing, or what should we do to make sure we point out gaps in those legislations so as to make sure the rights of people are protected at all times? One right violated could, if not addressed, could create a lot of bad precedents for everybody tomorrow. Through academic research also, we academics are equipped to forecast the direction of society through its governance structures. Look at our governance structures. Are they adequate? Are they in place? Are they are they outdated? These are fundamental questions we have to ask as academics and as researchers. And once we question those protocols, we can articulate the conditions of the people from a dispassionate way and help offer solutions to the human rights challenges that are a threat to sustainable peace and development. On that note, I want to seize this opportunity to remind us all that human rights issues are fundamental issues that all of us must at all times try to be aware of, and we must at all times speak up when the rights of any person or any group of people are abused, either by the state or by the agents of the state. You might be the next victim if you keep silent. The issue of human rights and the issue of holding the government accountable should be a right that we all have. We are given that academic freedom to issues, interrogate issues, interrogate issues without any fear or favor. And let us put away our political and ethno-linguistic lenses to look at issues in an objective manner. Objectivity should be the hallmark of our interrogations, of our discussions at all times. We must engage in a robust and frank discussions at all times. We must respect every other person's views, whether they are minority groups, whether we agree with them in terms of our religious beliefs, or whether we agree or disagree with them with our ethno-linguistic and cultural ideologies. On that note, I thank you all for your kind attention.